there are several of my books. I think that Path of the Fury or Fury Born would work great. I think that you could do the first half of In Fury Born as a movie and end with her leaving the cadre after she finds out about the colonel betraying them and everything else, and then do a sequel to it, picking up with her on the colony planet just before her entire family is killed. Mm. Film both of them at the same time. You've got the cast in the same place, right. Okay, and then you're golden. And I think that Alicia DeVry would be the kind of tough as nails female heroine, that were a lot of people are looking for. Mm-hmm. And I think that it would have a whole bunch of the elements that go into making a good, if you'll pardon the phrase, space opera action movie. So I'd like to see that done. But I think that it is more likely, which I'm not sure is a good thing, but I think it's more likely that somebody would do an Honor Harrington movie first because of the simple size of the right. universe. And then if that worked, they might look at some of my other stuff. I almost think what we need to do is go the other way around, is have somebody do one of my shorter books, The Apocalypse Troll. Mm-hmm. Which is, near future, fighting it out between the alien cyborg here on Earth, burning down Biltmore House, which Sharon still hasn't forgiven me for. That kind of thing. Again, it's a standalone. It's a relatively short book. There's a lot of action in it, and I think it would make a good movie. And someday, by the way, there's a sequel to The Apocalypse Troll in the works. Yes. Okay. There's a sequel to Out of the Dark in the works. And in that, those people who are upset with me about the vampires hopefully wouldn't be upset with me anymore. Don't say it, dude. I'm just saying. I do not have a single book out there, not one, that doesn't have at least one sequel hanging around in the back of my brain. Okay? Now, I turned 65 in October. Let's see, there's 50 bucks. If I do 2 a year, by 85 I can be done, okay? So it's now I am the book that I'm working on right now is Uncompromising Honor, and it's the one that finally wraps up the storyline that began with Basilisk Station by way of a small side trip, courtesy of Eric Flint, who created a situation which I couldn't kill Honor. I was heartbroken, but it did kind of screw up my entire timeline. And I finally got everything back on rail and figured out a way to finish it without killing her, which was pretty good too. But it's not the end of the Honor verse. Okay, by any means. Tim and I have the Manticore Ascendant series going on. Jane and I would love to do more of the Star Kingdom books with the Tree Cats and so forth. I think the problem we have there is that they kind of fall between the traditional young adult and adult science fiction. Okay. And with Simon & Schuster, for example, is looking at sales numbers. And while those three books did well, they did not do as well as a mainstream Honor Harrington, David Weber solo novel does, or as one which has starships blowing up in it with Tim and Tom. Okay, I need to do at least 2 more books in that series to help establish some of the background for later books that have already been written in the Honorverse. It's kind of like doing House of Steel in the companion. It filled in something that I knew was there all along, but there really wasn't a good place to work into one of the books. Okay. So there will definitely be more Honorverse books, and there may even be more Honor Harrington books. But she's a little bit too senior now for me to send on death rides. Okay, plus at the moment it's a little difficult to find anybody who could be a death ride level opponent for Grand Fleet. Okay, let's see. We got Apollo, we got Shrikes, we got Lack Carriers, we got Ghost Rider, we got FTL Comms. Yeah, bring on your Solarian League Navy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I mean, it's that kind of thing. So I need to get her to a point where, in essence, she will finally have the opportunity for some of the peace that she's earned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, um, but which will also deal with the Solarian League, and will leave the Mason alignment out there somewhere, lurking in the stars as a potential future threat. It's going to be difficult, frankly, if the Grand Alliance stays friends. Okay, to find any open opponent that could give them a run for their money down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I could always have the Undermani decide they don't like the Grand Alliance for some reason or something like that, but I don't believe in creating an artificial conflict in order to drive the book, if you see what I'm saying.
Okay.
I mean, okay, it's fictitious, so any conflict is artificial. But what I'm saying is, I don't believe in creating a conflict where somebody has to radically change who they are to explain why there's a conflict. And as long as the current Gustav is emperor and Chinlu von Rabenstrang is his like third in the succession or whatever, the Undermani would have to change considerably, or the Grand Alliance would have to do something really, really stupid to drive them to the point where they became active opponents. I mean, I'm sure I could come up with something.